My name's Tom Martin, and if you've been following the media over the last couple of weeks, you'll know I'm the man that is suing the London School of Economics, its Gender Studies department, for teaching sexism against men. The story's been in a few papers, right here, which I'm not going to bore you with at the moment, but it's also been on a Voice for Men radio. And so if you go to the website sexismbusters.org and click on that link, you will be able to listen to that interview. And what we're going to do today is go down and speak to the students at the London School of Economics to see if they think that sexism against men in a curriculum is in some sense justified or not. You know, they're going to come out with some kind of stories about it being a man's world and therefore it's okay to ignore men's issues. For instance, they like to claim that only one sex is oppressed. They might get a bit aggressive, but I've got my sandwich board, so that should be okay. This is the news story. We want to get people's opinion about whether discrimination against men in the core texts is justifiable or not. Because the defense is saying that it is justifiable.
Yeah, I don't really know much about gender studies in general, but I'm in the Gender Institute.
I'm seeing that.
Okay, because you think that it's overwhelmingly about women.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't really speak much about LSE, but I do know that in general, gender studies, I don't think are overwhelmingly women-based. Women's studies definitely is.
Right.
And if there's a slight percentage or lean towards women, that's just kind of what happens when you're studying gender.
I do think it's justified because in a way I've started reading a lot of feminist writings recently and I'm starting to get that sexism feeling. On a daily existence as a woman, you feel that all the time. Do you as a man? Do you?
Feel sexism?
Yes, in social interactions all the time.
Sometimes.
Subtle ones.
Subtle ones,
Daily,
sometimes, yes.
All the time.
Throughout history, there's been misogyny against women in ancient religions, and even today, women in the EU get paid up to 20% less than men. In some countries, it's 30%.
Equal pay?
Okay.
It doesn't exist, does it?
Right. How much less are women paid per hour?
I think it depends on the industry, doesn't it? But
in the UK, on average?
It's like, I think the women earn 70% of men's wages.
Any pay gap that exists is probably caused more by women discriminating against the workforce, making choices, working shorter hours, commuting less, doing safer jobs, working at times that are more sociable, working for shorter durations, taking more breaks. And this gender student, how many years of gender did you do?
I did it as a minor in my undergraduate.
Okay, and so how many years?
3 years.
This gender student has done 3 years in a gender program and doesn't know that the pay gap is caused primarily by women's choices.
Either way, it's not equal. Either way, it's not equal. It hasn't been equal for years and years, and that's what we're studying, that's what we're learning, that's what we're talking about. And it's important for people of today to be aware of that, and I don't think a lot of people do. They don't realize the injustifications that are going on from the beginning of history towards women.
Tell me about the inequalities women have faced in history.
How have women been oppressed historically?
Yeah.
Are you having a
They
laugh?
didn't have the right to vote.
Are you having a laugh?
Okay,
They're currently raping.
stop. They didn't have the right to vote. How many years it took between the time when all men got the vote over the age of 21 and all women got the vote over the age of 21 in the UK? How many years?
All men, I don't know, 40, 50 years.
The difference in time it took between men getting all the vote and women getting all the vote was 10 years between 1918 and 1928. And of course, while men had the right to vote, they also were conscripted to fight and die in the First World War, and so couldn't actually vote anyway.
Women did not have the right to vote, that's the point.
Okay,
Women in history did not have the right to vote. That means they were unequal.
Wait,
if men had the right to vote and women didn't...
For how many years did men have the vote and women didn't?
Yes, you've asked me this question.
And what's the answer?
I don't know.
Have a guess.
However much it was. You tell me. You're not answering any of our questions.
Have a guess.
You tell me.
Have a guess.
Look, get to your point. Just get to your point.
You are justifying discriminating against men.
Oh, there's no discrimination against men. There's no discrimination against men. I'm sorry.
There's no discrimination against men. There's no discrimination against men.
Okay, yeah. Would you like to just pass comments about whether you think a focus on women is justified, as the university are arguing?
I think you should ask the women.
Well, no, I'm asking you.
No, I think they should maybe focus a little bit on men.
I come from a country like India, so there are enough things that I can talk about. So it doesn't end like
What do you want to talk about?
domestic violence.
As someone who's very familiar with domestic violence as a concept and has researched it a lot, it does, emotional abuse especially, and to a lesser extent physical abuse against men does occur. But by and large, you're not going to get hospitalized. If you were my boyfriend and I decided to beat you up, you're not going to end up in the hospital. Whereas if you beat me up, you kill me.
Who is more likely to initiate domestic violence?
Men, because I talk to women about it more. I'm not going to run around discussing domestic violence experiences with men.
What percentage of domestic violence is initiated by men?
That's a really unfair question. I know nothing.
Just have a guess.
Probably 60%.
70% of domestic violence appears to be initiated by women. In domestically violent relationships where only one partner is violent, that one person tends to be the woman on 70% of occasions. In India, what percentage of domestic violence allegations were believed by the researchers to be genuine?
80% of them.
The answer is 2%. 2% were believed to be genuine. Do you think you have a balanced understanding of men's and women's issues?
No, I don't think I have an understanding at all, really.
I come from a country where the onus of proving one's innocence lies in the man.
I've been here for 3 years and I've never read or heard a study about equal rights or equal opportunities for men. So definitely there's a case there, I would say, yeah.
Someone mentioned that I'm in this newspaper. I'm going to find out what it is, if it's good or bad.
Okay.
LSE, best university in London. Oh, here we go. Gender Institute sued by former student. Okay, I'm going to read that later.
I think women and men should be treated as equals because I think we are, and in that sense, I guess we all have to treat each other in the same way. And I'm a woman, I do believe in women's issues, but I don't think we should mistreat men.
What you're fighting for is stupid. I'm sorry,
Okay,
it's stupid. Why are you on your own? Why don't you have anyone behind you? Because nobody agrees with your stupid
I've had
analysis.
30 donations from all around the
Oh,
world.
brilliant.
If we want to be treated the same way and we want to have the same rights all over the world, we have to treat each other equally and not discriminating in favor of one or in favor of the other.
The whole of feminist theory is rubbish, James.
It doesn't take a majority to prove that you're right.
I'm saying
It takes a few good men and a few good women.
I wouldn't donate to a cause that's talking about anti-male gender discrimination.
Even a feminist should be able to acknowledge that it should be equal. If they campaign for equality, then that's what we should have.
And we focus on everyone's needs and not single out people and decide to treat them specially. And I'm very supportive.
Explain why you're doing it.
I think that, as much as women's rights should be respected, men's rights should be respected too.
I want you to go to sexismbusters.org, donate to the Fighting Fund. Thank you to everyone around the world who has done that so far. We're getting there, and we will see them in court. Thank you. So let's do some more anyway.